Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the It's Not a podcast. I'm not sure if that's the exact name I'm going with, but I'm pretty sure it is. As you can see here, I am lovingly shooting a panther as it lovingly attacks me. You know, this is kind of weird, because the first episode I did of this, I did on my PS4 Pro. And I don't know if maybe this is a setting I have turned on or something, but while I was recording that first episode for the PS4, it was like playing the music, or it was playing the game audio in the background. Now, actually, it's kind of funny. I'm going to do some commentary here, some director's commentary. I was going to cut out this initial thing, but I just kind of like this, you know? Uh, So, if you're wondering what this video is that I'm commentating over, I'm not sure the exact name, but I'm going to call it something like, Red Dead Online gameplay, but you hear me clacking my controller the whole time. Because that is a slight problem with this Blue Yeti microphone, is if I have my controller, you can hear it very easily, particularly if I have it close to the mic. And, right now I have the mic set up like kind of to my left, so I have to look over to my left to be talking directly into the mic. And like, that can cause some problems. Like right now, if I'm focused on my game, or in this case the video, I might be like further away from my mic than this. I don't know which would sound better exactly, but I don't know. I definitely like this setup a bit more, because it does allow me to kind of hold my controller in my lap, and you can hear it, I assume, but I don't think it's nearly as loud as it is when I'm playing the game right now. But yeah, anyway, I kind of just started this. I wasn't really sure how exactly I was gonna go through it or go about it, but yeah, I don't know. I was gonna have a little plan to maybe puff this disposable vape I got. It's a new one. Apparently it's CBD and Delta 9. I bought it because it was advertised, at least the way I saw it. Maybe I didn't read thoroughly and properly enough. It's like a Delta 9 THC vape. And I was like, Delta 9? You talking about regular weed? Sure, I'll buy that. But I realize now that in order for it to comply with like the hemp bill that has made weed basically legal in the United States, it's a farm bill. I don't know the technicals of it. My apologies if you want to know more. You look it up. I hope. If not, then I don't know how you're watching this video, but you can't look up something on Google. Which I don't mean that as like a dig. Like, this is always the problem, is I don't want to be mean. I don't want to come across like an asshole, but you know, like sometimes I am. I'm sort of a piece of shit. But like I don't know. I don't mean to be as mean or as bad as I might seem sometimes. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily make it okay. It doesn't make it like, you know, fine to be a piece of shit and be rude and asshole-ish and standoffish, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just explaining. I'm talking. Honestly, I'm losing my train of thought. Which, would you believe it? I'm 100% sober right now. Well, maybe not 100%, but like, you know, I woke up this morning, and plenty of times I've been like, I want to grab me my juicy little vape, and just take a puff off of it. And I realize now that I have I've come here and I've sat down and started recording this without my nicotine vape. Alright, now the vapes I was talking about specifically not puffing on, those are the THC ones. I apologize for the chair movement you might be hearing here. I'm just gonna step out for a second. Alright, I'll be right back, trust me. Okay? Alright, yeah, here we go. Relatively painless, right? God damn, the video ain't even over. Man, my plan was to go maybe like half an hour and then vape this Delta 9 CBD vape because when I opened up the little box it came in, my apologies. When I opened up the little box it came in, this is a problem with just like recording stuff, and like I would want to edit that out. All right, I don't want that to be in the final cut, but like I'm just sitting here talking. All right, this is why it's not a podcast. This podcast, okay? It's unedited. It's raw. It's real, okay? All right. If you can't handle me being raw and fucking real with you, then you're fake. All right, you're fake and you can just get out of here, you fucking jabroni. Alright? You fake gamer, you fake person, you awful. Alright? And I want nothing to do with you. Now, all the other people that I'm not talking to, you're great, you're lovely, you're beautiful, you're wonderful. Give me money. I want money. It's all about money. It always has been. Not seriously. I don't know. I feel like I lean into that bit too hard sometimes because like genuinely I don't really care about money. I want to have enough to be able to survive and live, but I don't ever need to become a fucking millionaire. I don't need to have lavish things, a nice car, the most expensive shit in the world. No, I want like just the basics, the necessaries, the needs. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have a whole character kind of making fun of rich people because I mean, really, most of us they're the exact same as me. They're narcissistic assholes that don't give a shit about anyone other than themselves. They will fuck you over at a moment's notice, just like I will. But at least I'm honest about it. I mean, the rest of these ones are absolute hypocrites. Don't pretend like you care about people. Don't say, oh, I donate to charity, so that excuses me of all sin. No, it doesn't. It excuses you from taxes, and that's the only reason you donate to charity. I mean, sure, maybe you have your own personal ones. Maybe you have a loved one affected by a disease, and so you donate money to that cause. And even then, it's still just a selfish want that you have while you're placing the needs of others above yourself. Because as a rich person, you have to do that. I mean, my goodness, if you didn't do that, then how did you get rich in the first place? Through hard work. Sure you did, poor boy. Sure you did. And I didn't inherit all my wealth from my father. Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah, I don't know. How was that bit? Did you enjoy my Rich Platinum bit? The Rich Platinum podcast was the first podcast I actually did, and that was unedited. I've since like I've either privated them or unlisted them. I might bring them back. I might throw them back up on the channel at some point, but I don't know. For now, it's like they're not bad, but they're definitely not my best work. Just like maybe this isn't bad, but it's most certainly not my best work. Like I'm scared to upload this onto my channel. Like honestly, what I might do is I might just like unlist all these weird podcast rambling things I'm doing, and instead just instead just like uh oh yeah, upload them unlisted and then just make a little playlist for them. I don't know, you know. It's like, is this what I want to be presenting to people? Is this the image I want to present of myself? Kinda. I mean, I'm being genuine here. I am trying to be truthful and honest here. But, like, I'd rather be truthful and honest in a much more, like, sanitized, clean, rehearsed, and well done way. You know? Rather than kind of just, like, rambling and saying whatever I want, whatever comes to mind, and hopefully getting something from it. Because, you know. Uh, I don't know. I think it's two different like kind of ways of thinking and ways of doing things. Like I don't know. I mean, ideally, like I think I can be very funny while on stream, and I can have a lot of funny moments. But I mean, unfortunately, it's kind of hard for me because I don't really have a good way to edit things on my computer. Like I'm recording this all on my PlayStation 5, and and even then, it would be hard for me to like make highlights of my previous streams. Like it wouldn't be exceptionally hard, but I don't know. I do get very drained and burnt out with editing and trying to make things as good as I possibly can make them. Like, honestly, I don't even know what I'm gonna do for the background of these podcasts because it's just, I get like a few minutes of the gameplay playing in the background, but then it's just me and you, all right? There's no one else. Uh, actually, something I might do. This might be what I do. One kind of game I love for its music is Persona 5, and the Persona 5 like safe room music, like the that was so bad. I'm so sorry about that. But no, like the music that plays in the safe room is such a bop and such a jam to me. I might, because I did recently buy Persona 5 Royal, because a cool pog thing about Persona 5 the original, you can't record or screenshot any of the fucking game. And to a certain extent I get it. It's because it came out in Japan before it came out in the US, so you don't want people like say for example taking that footage, uploading it, and spoiling it for everyone else. But like also people can just do that anyway. They can just record things, so why you make it harder to make people make things from your own creation? But hey, you know what, I ain't a developer, I ain't a boss, I ain't on the PlayStation paying bill or whatever. I don't know what the word I was looking for exactly, but I'm not getting any money, alright? I'm broke. I'm poor. I'll be honest with you. I have nothing. But I don't know. It's very annoying because like I really wanted to do like a playthrough with Persona 5. And then I actually recorded a lot of a playthrough for Persona 5 Royal, and I was intending to go back over it and like dub it over as my rich platinum character, but obviously I ended up not doing that. But like also the fun thing about Persona 5 is when you get to all the new shit that's not in Persona 5, the regular one, you can't record the game anymore. You can't take screenshots and you can't do jack shit. So that's pretty fun. And by pretty fun, I mean super annoying. But I can still get a lot of footage from the game, and I can still do a lot with just the beginning several hundred hours or whatever you can get up to before the game goes, oh no, you can't record no more. That's no good. And yeah, I don't know. So I hope you're enjoying the Persona 5 music in the background. If not, then my apologies for whatever is up in its place. But yeah, I don't know. It's man, I'm finding it hard to talk for an hour, because I'll be honest, my plan was halfway through at like the 30-minute mark. I was gonna start puffing on this Delta 9 vape, which I think I might have already said this and I'm repeating myself, but just in case I cut myself off or didn't finish my thought, when I opened up the little packaging of it, all around it, it said feel the difference. And of course when I got it, I also got a bunch of other vapes, and I was like, yeah, I'm feeling the difference. This one tastes like shit, and I don't feel like it's getting me as high as my other vape I have, which is a Delta 10, I believe. Tray House. Well, this one is CBD, FX CBD. I don't know. It seems to be much more geared towards CBD, and I didn't necessarily realize that when I bought it. Now, not to say that I'm against CBD. I actually like CBD. Like, back in college, I used to waste a lot of my money buying CBD cigarettes because, I don't know, it's helped me calm down, helped me sleep, and it's like I don't know, this is just for me personally, but you get two very different sensations when you're smoking weed versus smoking CBD. Like, the kind of way most people describe it and the way I feel it is, CBD gives you more of like a body high, while THC gives you much more of the head high. So, since this is a combination of both body and head high, supposedly, I mean, this should be interesting to try and take. But I don't know, at the same time, I want to be Mr. Sober-tober, alright? I shouldn't have to be doing all these drugs constantly and, you know, feel like I'm dependent on the substance that costs me a lot of money. Not a significant amount of money, but like a decent amount of money, alright? I don't want to get into precisely what exactly I've spent, but like, you know, I say I probably average like spending $40 to $80 every 2 weeks. Sometimes, you know, I'll spend $40 week to week. Sometimes I'll go like a month without buying anything after I bought like $80 worth of shit. So, I don't know. It all depends, but I think the most important thing is I should quit, you know? Like, I got this little nicotine vape. I couldn't even quit doing it for the length of this podcast. And it really does suck. Because, like, I am addicted to nicotine now at this point. Because when I tried to quit, when I tried to stop, I got depressed. I had no motivation, no energy. I didn't want to do anything. I was just fucking sad and, I guess a little mad. And, like, And like, it wasn't until I was like, alright, fine, I give in. I'm gonna buy some more nicotine stuff. That I was like, oh, I feel great again. I feel happy. I feel healthy. I feel productive. Which is like, I don't think all those things are necessarily true. Like, I don't know. I think nicotine can be used as like a stimulant, as like a sort of get up and go. Like, I don't know. Like, when I do nicotine, I tend to like to do stuff. Also, sorry I'm saying like so much. I'm just like, you know, one of those guys that always says like. So, like, sorry about that, man. But, no, I don't know. Like, it does give me a legitimate burst of energy. And for someone like me who suffers from this very severe disease, it's called laziness. I'm kind of just a piece of shit who doesn't like to do much. And, and I feel nicotine is kind of good at pushing me into doing things, which honestly I shouldn't need. I should just be pushed to do things on my own. I should want to do something because I want to do it, because I think it's good, I think it's worthwhile, I think something good will come out of it. I shouldn't just be doing it because I feel obligated to do it, or I feel like I have to do this, you know? Like, I don't have to sit here and record for an hour, but I want to, you know? I don't know. It's like, on one hand, I want to be, like, genuine and real, but also I just like talking, you know? I'll be honest, I just love talking. I love running my big old mouth, saying whatever I want about whatever topic or whatever such nonsense. I don't know. It's like, I think you have to have a good balance of things. Like, I don't know. I think maybe after this, if I'm still feeling up to it, I might try to edit some stuff. Like, I don't know, if you take a look at my channel, I edit a lot of short videos, and the reason why I love editing short little videos is it's so fucking easy to do, you know? Like this video, I literally made like one little cut in the beginning, just like shaving 2 seconds off. This was a 5-minute clip. As you can see, it was like 4 minutes and 58 seconds or something, and that's because I cut a little bit off the beginning, and I was gonna cut out more, but I was like, this works fine just on its own. And like, I don't know, it's very easy to make those videos, but I really should try to focus on more longer form content. Honestly, if I'm really being good and if I really want to do something like kind of big, I hope at least, is I want to do possibly a couple video essays on The Last of Us 2, or just like talk about it, because right now I have like literally 70 gigs of The Last of Us 2. I think I have like basically minor spoilers for The Last of Us 2. Nothing big. I'm just gonna tell you like what part I started recording at, because I didn't start recording at the beginning of the game. I started recording like right when Ellie and Joel go to the museum. I'm just gonna say that, you know, again, not a major spoiler, all right? But like from that point onward, I'd have footage of I don't even quite know where I ended, but I was definitely at the second half of the game, probably inching close towards the end. I don't know, honestly, I might be close to the end. I'm not sure, but yeah, I really do want to finish playing that game up, get literally all the footage that I could possibly want, and then I can make whatever video essay I want out of it. And you know, if you want some spoilers for those videos, like I don't know, what idea I have is like, you know, I don't know, like, I know why people hate Abby. I know, like, I can gather some of the reasons, and it seems, you know, and it's understandable. Like, if you really like Joel the character, you know, it's tragic what happens to him in The Last of Us 2, or The Last of Us Part 2. Whatever, man, it's the same thing. I don't know why I bothered to correct myself sometimes over the smallest little things. But, like, I don't know, it is pretty sad, but, like, I think people don't understand, or they don't want to understand, like, what the point of the story is, and why it's set up the way it is, and why stuff happens in it. And sure, some people think they know why, and it's like the dumbest shit ever. It's like, oh, you see, it's all about feminism and destroying the white male. And it's like, no, it's fucking not. Alright? Like, I don't know, again, minor spoilers. I'm trying to step around most of them. But there'll be some minor spoilers in here, and I'm sorry about that. But, like, I don't know, it's like, oh yeah, this feminist game where it shows that women can be just as overly violent and terrible as men. Thank God Neil Cuckman is out here making these masterpieces of art to let us know that women and men are equally terrible. But, you know, I mean, I don't know, it's like, at least for The Last of Us Part 2, I genuinely relate and like a lot of the characters. Like, I don't know, it's weird when people come out of the game and they're like, oh, I didn't feel anything for this character, I didn't like this character. It's like, one person I see that a lot with is Jesse. And now, it might just be because I sort of have, I don't know, it's weird, I don't want to call it like a personal connection with Jesse. But, like, as soon as I saw Jesse, I was like, oh, hey, this guy is very, very similar to a character I've made. For a book I'll probably never get around to writing. But nonetheless, I'm like, oh, this guy is kind of like the character I made. And much like all characters I make, there's some aspect of myself in them, you know? Like, my characters are not one-to-one just me, but, I don't know. I don't know if this is a more realistic thing or a more just like personal touch I add to a lot of the characters I make. Or maybe I'm just some kind of hippy dippy guy that believes, you know, we're all similar in some ways, we're all different in one ways, we can all understand how we act and why we do the things we do and why we are the people that we are. But I don't know, like, I genuinely like Jesse. I think he's just like a cool character, and he's very like, I don't know, his presence in the story is very chill, which I can understand why, you know, you might not get that attached to him, or you might not think that, oh, hey, he's that important. But I don't know, for me, he's very much like, he's like, oh, okay, here's a character I can be safe with, you know, like, when you run into Jesse, you're like, yeah, there we go, that's my boy, that's my bro right there. Like, I don't know, that's also something I really liked in The Last of Us 2, is like sharing this bond with like a fake person. Because I mean, when you're playing a multiplayer game with your friend and you and your buddy are both good and you're trying to do well, it's like, I don't know, there's a very fun sense of like friendship and like camaraderie that comes about when you both win and you're both kicking ass, you're both going after the same goal. You know, it's like, fuck yeah, man, we're together in this. Hell yeah. And, you know, I feel that The Last of Us 2 is very good at delivering moments like that, where you're just like, alright, let's fucking do this. Let's kill this motherfucker. And it's like, I don't know, I think also, a lot of the problems people have with the game is gamers are like too attached to themselves. I know, it's crazy. The narcissist is trying to tell you, your average gamer, that they're too narcissistic. But like, I don't know, one thing I see a lot with the game that, I don't know, I don't really get or like, but I mean, I get it, I understand it, but I don't agree with it, is that like, the game tries to make you feel bad for killing a dog. And here's the thing, alright? You know, if you feel bad for killing a dog, that's because you have empathy and you have emotion and you like cute little cuddly animals. But I think also a very important thing with that dog that you killed, that I think is the one everybody references that they're trying to guilt trip you with, that dog is also very violent. That dog murders people. That dog has been trained to attack and fucking kill. So I don't know. It's a little like, oh yeah, you had to kill a dog and it's a bit sad, but also the dog was gonna kill you anyway. And, you know, I am no vegan, I am no moralist in terms with animals, you know. But like, you know, I'm not pro animal cruelty. I'm not pro animal torture. Like, I think we should, you know, if people want, if it's efficient, if it works, you know, people could still eat meat. We can still raise animals, maybe give them less miserable, terrible lives, so that when we do eventually kill them, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Or, actually, I should rephrase that. We should give them better lives so that when we do finally kill them, it's not the best thing that's ever happened to them in their miserable, sad little lives. I don't know why I'm laughing about that. Just like my phrasing of it is making me laugh. Because it's not funny. Like, I genuinely have, like, compassion and sympathy for animals. And, you know, I guess a little empathy too, but like, at least for me personally, like, a pig doesn't give a fuck about what happens to it. A pig just eats. A pig exists to fucking, eat, breathe, shit, and die, you know? And like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. We all do that too as humans ourselves, but, like, I don't know. Maybe some pigs show compassion for one another and can be like good actors or creatures in the world, but it's like I don't think by any means there's any pig that is more valuable than a human. I mean, we want to get into real, like, straw-man-y debate shit, but, oh yeah, that's right, folks. 30 minutes in. God damn, this vape tastes like shit. Oh. But, I don't know. I think I'm getting used to the taste a little bit, but it is weird. But, yeah, no, I kept up my promise. 30 minutes in, no longer sober-tober. That, by the way, that's what I call myself when I'm trying to be sober. I'm like, alright, I'm sober-tober. I've never done a drug in my life, and I never will. But, that's not true. My name's Liam, and I happen to do quite a number of drugs. And, oh yeah, but, like, also, in comparison with that whole long rant about animals, if a dog is attacking you, you know, like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, not to say I'm pro police going to people's houses and shooting their fucking dogs. Let's make that clear, alright? I'm still very ACAB. But, but it's like, if a dog is genuinely threatening you, and, you know, you're not doing anything wrong, or you haven't done something to warrant the dog trying to fucking kill you, you have every right to kill the fucking dog. And I mean, sure, in the Last of Us 2, the dog you murder is protecting its territory, it's protecting its home and its family. But, like, at the end of the day, it's still trying to kill you, or kill Ellie. So you kill the dog anyway. And it's like, I don't know, I'm not fucking crying over a dead fucking video game dog. Like, it's fake. You know it's fake, right? Like, it's not real. Video games aren't real. You boys have to fucking know this shit. I mean, I don't know. Probably the people who hate The Last of Us 2 are the people who will go out and fucking murder people, and then people will say, oh, gamers, they don't know the difference between reality and video games. No, they fucking do. They just don't have any connection to humanity. They don't know the difference between right and wrong. They have perverted their mind into a way of thinking where what is wrong is right, and what is right is wrong. You know, and anybody can do this over any subject, but I don't know. It is a tragedy when, you know, it's like, I think a lot of the time, a lot of the video games I play have, like, taught me this idea of, like, love and being a good person. Like, one game that is one of my favorites, and you'll hear me bring it up so many goddamn times, is Fallout New Vegas. When I was playing Fallout New Vegas when I was younger, I was a teenager, maybe, I don't know, I was maybe like, I might have been like 11 when I first got the game, but I played it a lot throughout my teenage years, so, you know, when I'm like younger, like 13, 14, I remember I was like, alright, let's start a like low karma playthrough, and let's kill people. But then I played the game so many times, and I had really enjoyed it to the point where I was like, I don't want to kill these people. I like these people. These people are fine. They're just trying to live their lives. And I'm over here just being an asshole and being mean to them. And so, like, I never really did a low honor playthrough. But nowadays, I could do a low honor playthrough with, I keep saying low honor, and it's because I'm mixing up Red Dead Redemption 2 and, Fallout New Vegas's karma versus armor system, but it's essentially the same thing. You do bad things, you get minus points. You do good things, you get positive points. And like, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great example of this. When I first played the game, completely good honor, barely did anything bad. You know, I might have done a few crimes here and there for challenges or whatever, but I was never like a ruthless bastard or anything like that. I wasn't just like a complete psychopathic murderer in Red Dead Redemption 2, especially the first time I played the game. But now when I play the game, I can be as low honor as possible. And I think the interesting thing is that it works in the story, and also, yeah, you guessed it, Red Dead Redemption 2 is another video I want to do an essay on. or another video game I want to do a video essay on. Because it's like, I don't know, it's really interesting, I think, the differences between high honor and low honor, and how both can still kind of work. And that, like, a lot of the tragedy is in that playing as like a low honor Arthur Morgan, you were like this genuine relic of the past. Like that's one thing throughout the whole game. No matter if you're good or low honor, the game will, you know, it has a theme of time catching up, times changing, things becoming more modern, quote unquote. And like I don't know, Arthur has this great line where he's like, he says, they don't want folk like us no more. And I think it's very true. Because, for one thing, his folk are a bunch of, is a gang of murderers and thieves. But, you know, they do have that slight, like, thing of relatability. Like, they're not all rich. They're not doing this because they really want to. Some of them might be, say, Dutch and Micah, for instance. But, like, I don't know, Charles, Lenny, Hosea, most of the other gang members, they're not, like, killers and robbers because they want to be. It's because they had no other choice, you know? Like, that's the thing with Arthur Morgan, is that, like, when he's talking to John Marston, he's like, we were never really kids. And, you know, this has been our life ever since from the get-go. And, like, even the Pinkerton bastard, I can't remember his name, Ross? Milton Ross. Yeah, it's Milton Ross. Like, he says when he offers to let Arthur go in exchange for Dutch, he's like degenerate, or he's like, Shreed orphan who got taken in by that silver-tongued charmer and has now matured into a degenerate killer. And it's like, that's true. Like, it's true that Dutch and Hosea both have molded Arthur into this killer. Because no matter how you play the game, Arthur Morgan is a killer. Alright? He's a motherfucker. And he's a goddamn killer. Because, I don't know, it's like definitely an interesting idea with the game. Because of, like, the idea of necessary murder. Because, like, one of the first missions you do in the game is you hunt down a white-tailed deer. And you have to kill it, and you actually kill 2 of them. Because you need food for the pot. You need the gang to eat something, or everyone's gonna starve. And, I don't know, that's actually something I want to talk about, and I think it's an interesting idea, and a neat little parallel that's probably not intentional, is that the game tells you, hey, you have to hunt, and hey, you have to go out and kill animals and do this, but in reality, you don't have to do that. You can just, like, buy food. It'll never be golden, but, you can just buy it. You don't have to go out and hunt for your food. You don't have to go out and rob to get money. But they are like there are like much like what those things are fast ways to get money in progress and to try to get like some capital or whatever. I don't know, I'll be honest, kind of losing my train of thought. I'm gonna take another puff off this CBD Delta 9 thing. I don't know, man, like this one is weird. It's like a very subtle high that I'm getting from this when like the other disposable vape I have right next to this one, it's like I take that one and it's like, ooh, this shit's hitting me like a fucking train. No wonder I've lost my train of thought. A fucking another train just crashed into this motherfucker. But I don't know. It's not bad. But man, that is a weird taste. I'm not a big fan of that taste. But yeah, sorry about this. Sorry about the dead air and silence. Unless you heard me doing a... my oh my. But yeah, I don't know. Also, just to finish my thought, is that like the game tries to force upon you this idea of you need to kill people and you need to kill animals and you need to do all these things, but I think kind of the interesting thing is a lot of the time you don't. Like honestly, it's a shame that you know, I've watched a YouTuber, possibly multiple YouTubers, do the, you know, let's try to kill nobody in Red Dead Redemption 2. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but it's like trying to be the goodest boy in Red Dead Redemption 2. And eventually you get to a point in the story where you are forced to kill someone. And it's actually in order to save John. So, and like, I don't know if that's necessarily intentional, but if it is, that's really interesting, is that in the moment where John's life is being threatened, Arthur, he will not hesitate to kill. You know, you control him for most times, so you can go up and punch people and knock them out and make sure they live, or hog tie them, or whatever you want to do. You know, smack them with your gun. I think I've gone through all the options now. But like, you know, he will kill for those he considers friends and family. Like, no matter what you think about Arthur Morgan, the guy loves the gang, you know? So yeah, that's why you can't ever kill any of the members. You can't just like go into camp and throw a stick of dynamite and blow them up, you know? Like, all of them have their own problems. Some of them are a lot better than others, but like, I think generally you can love everyone at camp. Like even in some ways, like, you know, take Micah for instance, the most hated video game character of all time. I hate the guy too, but here's the thing, he's a really well-written villain. So sometimes it is just great watching him be just the biggest piece of shit that he can be. It's I don't know, it's like interesting, it's funny a lot of the time, and I don't know, it just works a lot within the context of the story, and it's like, it's very interesting to hear him sometimes. Like, I think one of my favorite little dialogues he has, and I'm not gonna remember the whole thing, but he goes up to Reverend Swanson, the main drunk at the camp, and he's like, haven't you heard, Reverend? God is dead. And he's like just standing there taunting over the Reverend and making fun of him. And you know, the Reverend, or Swanson, I don't know why I keep calling him the Reverend, but Swanson, at the end of the game, minor spoilers, does get his act together, and you know, unlike Micah, isn't killed. And like, I don't know, it's like in the end he gets the last laugh, and I think that's, I don't know, it's interesting, it's poetic, but it's like in that moment, you know, Micah's getting the win. He feels like, oh, I'm besting this stupid moron idiot who believes in God and happiness and hope. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, he believes that he's going somewhere when he dies, and he's gonna live his life as best as he can until he dies, while you will just live your life and not care about what's next or anything but the present and yourself. And like, I don't know, I think that's kind of like the like dialectic between Micah and Arthur. Is Arthur, like, no matter what, even if he's like low honor and if he's like low honor, he still has a genuine love for the gang. Like, he loves Dutch and sees him as his father. He loves Hosea too. John is his brother. Lenny, Javier, Bill, all these people. Like, Arthur really truly cares for them. And, like, no matter how bad of a person he is, he still loves those around him. And, like, and that's the difference between him and Micah, is that Micah doesn't really love anyone around him. I think he loves the idea of Dutch. Like, he loves the power and the, like, utility that Dutch can give him. But I don't think Micah genuinely cares for Dutch. Like, I don't know, I like to make a lot of jokes that, you know, oh, Micah and Dutch are having their sweet little gay romance. They're cowboy 1800s, Brokeback Mountain. I was trying to think of the movie. But, yeah, like, I don't know, I think, like, no matter what, no matter how you play the game is trying to impart you with a good message and trying to leave you with something. And, like, I think it's a very good thing the game pushes you to be like, hey, maybe don't murder people. Maybe be a good person. Maybe help people in the ways you can. And just try to do your best before you die. Because, like, I don't know, I think one of my favorite lines, and this is pretty major spoilers. I'm going to be talking about the ending right now, but I've already spoiled it a little bit, and I'm sure you know by this point. But, like, on a low honor playthrough, if you choose to help John escape, when Micah catches up to you, I don't know, it's so great. I love that ending scene so much, where you know, Micah comes up to you, and then Dutch is there, and he's just standing above both of you. And then when like Dutch comes out, like Micah is like the way he's acting, the actor Peter Blumquist, I believe is his name. Like, he's like trying to literally pull Dutch towards him with his hands. He's like, come on, Dutch, come on, we gotta make it together. And Dutch, meanwhile, just stands on top, doesn't say anything. And, like, you know, he does try to say something. He tries to say something to Arthur, but, you know, cat's got his tongue, the words get caught in his throat. And it's like, I like to think he's like about to say, I'm sorry, Arthur, or I failed you, Arthur. It's like, I let you down. I pushed away the people I loved and cared about, and now they're gone, and there's nothing I can do about it. And then, you know, the scene ends with Dutch walking away. Micah's still trying to get him to come, and he's like, come on, Dutch, come on, don't you want to go make out on a mountain? Come on, Dutch. And, you know, if you have high honor, Micah just walks away. But if you have low honor, Micah comes up to you and he starts laughing at you. And he's like, oh, Morgan. Forget what the exact lines are, but he says something along the lines of, he's like, you're not better than me, Morgan. And then, or he's like, you're not better than me, Morgan. Damn you. And then Arthur, like, puts his head up and he's like, damn us both then. And then Micah fucking shoots you in the face, spits, and walks away laughing. And, like, I don't know, it's a very tragic ending, but in some ways I feel it's very fitting, especially for, like, a low honor Arthur Morgan playthrough, because at least if you're someone like me, Like, I love getting into fights. I love getting into these big fights. Like, one of my favorite towns is Van Horn, because you just basically get to put yourself against a whole entire town. And then by the end of it, you're either dead or you're walking around a literal fucking ghost town with bodies all over the streets. And it's like, I don't know, I think this is something I really like, and it's like a theme you see in a lot of video games. I would say the primary game I think of is Hotline Miami. Is that when you finally finish the level and you kill all the bastards, the fucking hyper techno music cuts out and it's just you in a room full of dead bodies, blood, gore, and guts. You know? Like, you are alone at the end. Sure, you've won, but it's like a hollow victory. It's a soulless victory, you know? And I think that's an important thing, because, like, you shouldn't gain pleasure from killing people. Like, not actually. Like, I don't know, you should try to love and help people more, and, like, you know, I think there are some people who have done terrible, awful, unforgivable things. And, you know, I don't think those people should be a part of society, or in some cases, I don't even think they should be a part of life. But, you know, like, that's not something I'm dead set on. I'm not like, we can't, you know, like, you can rehabilitate, like, a murderer. But it's like the principled part of me wants to say, no, you can't. If you violate the sanctity of life, if you go against our social contract of killing, or you go against the social contract by killing another person, then you are no longer part of the contract. The contract is null and void. But, I don't know. I think that's the point of this game, and the point of talking about things and trying to understand things deeper, is that, you know, you get closer and closer to what the truth is, to what the right thing to do is. And, yeah. I don't know. I think that's what all video games should ultimately be about. I mean, you know, you can have different video games about different subjects, but it's like, at least for me, those are my favorite types of games. You know, I genuinely, like, love games that promote, like, a connection with characters and people, because it's like, I don't know, when you're a gamer, when you're all alone all the time, you can feel like, you know, nobody cares about you. There's nobody that loves you. You know, life doesn't matter. Why are you even doing anything? But, you know, you do it because you have hope, because there are people out there who like you and want to spend time with you and want to be your friend or whatever. And, you know, the only way you're ever gonna find those friends, if you go out and look, is you go out and try. Like, I don't know, I think a part of living is you're always choosing to try. You're always choosing to have hope. Because, I mean, if you had no hope and you were hopeless, you would just maybe be dead. And, I mean, sometimes you can feel that way, but I don't think you should let those thoughts consume you. Because, you know, it's easy for me to say I have a relatively good life, you know, but, like, you know, you shouldn't let your worst thoughts and the worst things about life tear you down and drag you down with them. Because no matter what, we're all gonna die, you know? There is no infinite life glitch. You can't pay your way to live forever. You can't upload your consciousness into a computer and live on as a cyborg AI. No, at least not yet. And, you know, it's like, no matter what you do, no matter how you live your life, at the end of it, you are gonna die. And I think that's a very important theme with Red Dead Redemption 2, is that it's like, you know, you're playing this character who is doomed to die, destined to die, kind of like how we're all destined to die. But it's about what you do in the meanwhile that you can derive meaning from. You can feel happy, you can feel sad, you can you know, do good things or do bad things. And, you know, like, some of it is finding the right balance, you know? Like, say for example, at least for me personally, I see me doing drugs as a bad thing, but it can lead to good things. So ultimately I do it because I believe the good outweighs the bad, but if I felt like the bad was beginning to outweigh the good, I would try to quit. And it would suck, and I would hate it, and I would be depressed, but after I get over the hump, after I get over the time period of struggle, I know it's going to be a lot better. And it's like, I don't know. Actually, one thing that has put my life into perspective a lot is nicotine. Because sometimes I'll be doing it, and it'll be great, and I'm having a fun time with it. And particularly when I first started using it, when I was a young teenager, and I was just playing games, I would happen to do a little bit too much, and while my brain can take all the nicotine it can now, before, I would reach a limit. I would reach a point where I would go, I have done too much nicotine, my head is pounding, and I have to go vomit now. And like, it would be literally one of the most miserable experiences of my life. I would be laying on my floor in my bathroom with the shower on because I can't think of anything else to do. And just to clarify, I'm laying down in like my bathtub, but I just have the shower on and like pounding down on my head / chest. Typically my head, if my brain is feeling as awful as it does sometimes. And it's like, I think that, like, you know, that terrible moment is awful, but when you do get out of it, you're like, wow, I can live and exist and my life isn't constant misery? This is kind of great. Kind of poggers, if you ask me. But, of course, I don't think people should suffer, you know? I don't think people should put themselves through hell and do terrible things to themselves in order to feel good when those terrible things aren't happening anymore. You've stopped doing them. Like, no, I think we should all feel pretty good. And sure, sometimes we might struggle. Sometimes it's good to struggle. But for the most part, it doesn't have to be necessary. It's not something that we should strive for. You should not be striving to create pain and terribleness of, or I don't know, I said that wrong and weird, but you shouldn't be trying to be evil. Like, I think that's a very interesting thing with low honor Arthur Morgan, is that, like, when he's talking to like Karen or Mary Beth or Tilly, if you're doing like bad things and you're being a criminal, Arthur will kind of explain it as like, I just get to thinking about how this is all gonna end, and I get so angry. And it's like it makes sense, you know? Like, Arthur sees the writing on the walls. He knows that their gang is doomed and their way of life is going away, slowly being stamped out by the government and the Pinkerton Agency. But, you know, he's still gonna fight against it. And that's the thing with Dutch, is that Dutch, no matter what, he will not stop fighting. He believes what he believes, and, you know, he's gonna go through with his plan once he comes up with it. But yeah, I'm getting to be an hour now. I can't record past an hour, so I just want to end this by saying, do good. Be a good person. And if you are gonna be a bad person, at least do it in a video game where you're not hurting anybody. And, like, genuinely, if, you know, you should understand that we're all people. We all have our own lives, and we have the capacity to understand and love each other and be kind and good to one another. So sometimes all you gotta do is just do it. Just try.